Hey.
Hey.
How do you feel?
Okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
I can't shake the feeling that if I had done something more, the spindle would still be with us.
She made her choices same as you. She was a weaver, and we do whatever it takes. Look, I know you, Bryn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes. You.
Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your... Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours, which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed. I floated the idea with Dharm, and he was pretty into it. Want to join me and follow?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking?
No.
Isla sacrificed everything for us. Still can't believe she... It's good you're here, Bryn.
We have a scrinundrum.
Scriddle?
You two are fun. To business, though, what we need to really work on the scries is a new set of the tools I use to maintain ours.
Do you not have them?
Lost in our mad dash through the Vale. I hadn't felt the urgent need to replace them just yet, but if we're to compare and contrast our three classes of scry, we'll need them.
We haven't needed these tools until...
Like most Enclave enchantments, the scries are incredibly durable. We had more pressing matters at hand until this.
Could we not borrow some from...
I tried. I would consider their tools.
He's saying they're bad.
I'm saying they're bad, but...
This is usually the part where I find myself wrestling a giant lizard or something.
Bryn, you never fail to cut to the heart of the matter. But I have...
A flower?
Not quite. It's from a...
And the tricky part, Dom was telling me, is that it can't be moved via any kind of teleport.
Indeed, and complicating matters. Lane and I can stabilize it, but we'll need our workstations here to do so.
I'm going to have to run.
Pretty much.
I'll just stretch extra. Do we know...
Yes, in the swamp not too far from here.
Sounds like a...
I'm going to let Arik power the scry for your run with the Bloom Bryn.
Appreciate it, Aurea.
You could use the practice.
Not to complain, but there's actually too much magic out here.
Like a thick fog when it really settles in.
Those are the Miriam flowers, Bryn. Just remember, once you pick one, time starts running down. Then it's a nice steady pace back here. You got it.
Here goes.
Good. Now move. We'll be ready. Good progress, Bryn. Smooth and steady.
It's looking a bit off.
That's normal. Just keep moving and you'll be fine.
The bloom's definitely...
She's got...
Did we?
Yes. Oh, we're good. Excellent work, everyone. We'll get this over to Solar, Bryn. She'll be ready for you.
do with a little heat.
These all seem to be speeches that people delivered. These are dated 40 years ago, but I could still imagine him saying all of these things today.
Reaper's Lake. The surrounding trees emitted an alchemical sap. It was a sought-after resource.
Looks familiar. I'll need to get these back to Lane. blaming the Verdant Mines for an explosion near the Vale. Supposedly this explosion was the cause of the cyclical miasma fires, but we know that the fires were caused by Asylum. This doesn't add up. Here's something. Let's see. It seems to be information on Lucia's various projects. There are a lot of redactions here. Seems like someone was trying to do something. So what did we find out? Any big revelations? What's wrong?
This isn't what I expected at all. I think you need to read this yourself.
Well, sure, but... all right. This is one of Lucia's journals, right?
Yes.
I washed my hands of it, but they pressed onwards. He was fully aware of what I taught them, of course. What I'd taken from the Institute. And so, he let it happen. He knew they were going to try to pierce the veil, and now dozens are dead. He knew Vile. Broke bread with them. But when they and the rest of the Verdant Minds went off to die, Kenrick just watched.
And now read this. A transcript of one of his speeches, delivered around the same time that journal entry was written.
We will root out these dissenter vermin at all levels of administration. Their ideology has claimed too many lives to be allowed to breathe free. In the meantime, to ensure peace and prosperity, martial law is in effect across remaining settlements. So he let the explosion happen, and used it for his own political gain. I wish I could say I was shocked.
It goes deeper than I could have imagined. He sat back and allowed the Verdant Minds to try breaking through the veil. Then they unintentionally triggered a huge explosion, conveniently wiping themselves out in the process. And just like that, the Eye had a scapegoat on whom to blame the cyclical miasma floods. He used panic and fear to secure himself a spot as provisional leader. But everyone eventually forgot that provisional bit. I genuinely didn't expect this at all. I thought I'd find out that he'd just been mildly conniving all his life, not this.
So, what do we do about this then?
We need to confront him. He may not be in charge anymore, but we can still take him to task on what he's covered up.
Wait, what? You really think that'll work?
Yes. I'll present him with our...
I'm open to the idea.
I'm confident in my powers of persuasion. I may be young, but a lifetime spent orbiting the seats of power in Judea. Well, let's just just say that I know how to appeal to a politician's better judgment.
Well, I trust your judgment.
Excellent. I'll finish writing this dossier and I'll meet you in...
It's not you who I'm lacking faith in. Trust me. Anyway, I'll see you at the hold.
I won't be long. He was always... Oh, thank good. Yes, I know, Scott, maybe...
Bryn, yeah.
Hey, Eric. I'm so...
Thank you. Yeah, imagine we owe... Bryn, have I? Or it sounds... Maybe...
I know it's gotta be...
Oh, well.
Something's been...
You're going...
Yes.
We developed when aside with the scout.
Is that what...
It took a... magic.
You mentioned...
So I am up at what councils and it's... Before you ask, the answer is maybe.
About the scries? You know?
Of course I know. In this role, I can't afford to be oblivious to one of my colleagues sneaking about. And while well-meaning, Arakim is about as stealthy as a glass tail on rice paper. Which brings me to my question. The answer will tip me from maybe to yes or no. Why are you here and not him?
Khan Arteme, you know Kenrick's temper as well as anyone. How many times did Arakim get punished for daring to step out of line? He has incredible intentions, and will do anything to help your people. But you need to build his trust and confidence.
Let me come again to the point. Why you, and not Arakim?
Honestly, I don't think he knows how to ask.
It's as simple as him asking me. I am not Stanild.
No, but you have to prove that to Arik as much as he has to prove himself to you. That was the lesson I learned from Aurea. The best leaders are mentors and meet their people halfway. That's what Arik needs from you.
An interesting point. I suppose he did not receive much support. Well, ever. Very well. You have my approval. I shall be watching very closely to see how this proceeds. And fair winds. I hope you can find your answers. I just wish Isla were here to help. You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yeah.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know.
You certainly wear emergency powers of authority. Comfort. Why do I feel as if I'm about to have my time wasted?
Please allow me to present my research. I promise it won't take but a moment. I've compiled a dossier concerning an event that occurred in the Enclave around 35 years ago.
And what event would that be, pray tell?
The attempt to pierce the veil. I can only assume you were familiar with the Verdant Mines.
The name rings a bell, though it's been decades, as you said.
They were the subject of many of your speeches. It's interesting that your memory on the subject is hazy.
You'll forgive me for not remembering the exact wording or subject of any of the hundreds of speeches I've delivered throughout my career.
That's not a problem. I can summarize my findings. Firstly, our evidence suggests, with a high level of confidence, that you were aware of the Verdant Mines' plans to pierce the veil. Secondly, in support of that assertion, you gained this knowledge through your close relationship with the enchantress known as Lucia.
I never knew any enchantress by that name.
That's odd, since you seem to have been a recurring character in her personal journals. Though, truth be told, she didn't seem particularly fond of you in the later entries. So, back to the attempt to pierce the veil. You knew...
I knew that it would go poorly.
You knew?
Of course I did. But what does it matter?
You could have stopped it.
But I didn't. Pray tell, Lawkeeper, what goal did you hold in your mind as you travelled here?
I wanted to learn the truth about the past, to uncover what had been hidden.
Lane Free Selectus. That's who you are, yes?
That's correct. Though, I'm not sure how... never mind. But my research...
House Lectus of Udea. It's no wonder you felt the need to make something of yourself. Well, today will not be that day. Nor, I believe, will any. I won't waste my breath debating a jumped-up little snot from a house so consumed by cupidity that it can't even keep its hearths lit. Once a failure of a house, always a failure of a house. And it shows in your insipid rag parading as research.
Did you just call me a jumped-up little snot?
No, I didn't.
I...
Will that be all from you? I have a daughter to grieve, after all.
Skies! That is enough. Lane deserves better than this disrespect.
You dare to speak of respect? You, who broke into our home, who undid Asylum, who attempts to destroy decades of societal progress.
I won't even address that. Your manipulation and arrogance are deadly. And I see your bare shoulders as proof.
Get out!
Bryn, thanks.
Skies above.
I knew you'd be back. Dreadfully predictable.
And here I thought I surprised you. Or was your herald getting kicked back to the source part of the plan?
Don't steal credit. Your great icon pushed us back, not you. And I'm quite certain it didn't survive the battle. Judging by the way you charged straight to the Grand Gate upon hearing my plan, you favor misguided heroics. Let me guess.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Let's not lie to each other. I like you.
Can't say the feeling's mutual.
Come now, I want to be confidants. Friends, even.
Fine. Let's be friends. Why don't you tell me what the Surgeborn are after so I can help you get it?
I told you, don't lie to me. But because my offer of friendship is genuine, I'll tell you. I'm after the same thing you're after. Magic. And the power that comes with it.
But Surgeborn already wield magic.
Not nearly enough of it. You know the lust for magical power is insatiable. Why else are you risking everything to tear strands of it from behemoths?
I'm not power hungry.
Don't lie. Especially when your actions betray your words with such ease.
How did you end up down here anyway?
I let myself be captured.
Why?
It became apparent that I wasn't going to uncover the secrets behind the... Oh, I do miss the raising. Still, I needed intel that I could only get from the inside. So I allowed myself to be captured. Kenrick had influence and insecurities making him the perfect target. It helped that he assumed our herald couldn't pass through the Grand Gate when he staged his attack.
How did it get through? The resonance modulator should have filtered out Surgeborn.
You didn't have a sample of that particular Surgeborn.
In my experience, Kenrick Stanold isn't exactly the trusting type.
I played the part. Please don't hurt me. I'll do anything you ask. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Just let me live.
The Hearthsiders believe you were born out of the Surge. Is that really where you come from?
I will keep some secrets to myself.
I thought we were friends.
Not yet. But we will.
Kenrick Stanold is in rough shape after being your...
I would never treat you like I treated him. You're different. Trust me.
Doubt it.
See.
Let's talk in your camp. I can speak.
So, what is... Yeah, I could... Did I make it work?
No. No, not at all. Not for... It reminded me of why I left.
Home.
Everything back there was all about your house, your actions, and when I tried to forge a different path in life, I had no real choice but to leave. I thought I had left it all in my past, but now...
I'm really sorry, Lane. It must be hard. Do you want to talk?
I think I need a little while to...
That's all right.
Thanks, Bryn.
What did we learn?
Nothing good.
You know, well,
Some sort of...
not exactly. More like elements had fused or connected.
I take it that's...
Darm's never seen it. And I asked the High Enchanter, and he had never heard of it either.
Even more worrying is that the Mirian's bloom also behaved strangely while we were trying to distill it. Normally there is a very rote set of steps, but it took Lane and I several tries to find the proper alchemic ratios to make it useful.
And then we have the Spitfires, acting more aggressive than normal, nesting in odd places. Putting it all together, we're seeing a worrying...
Ones that would be hard to notice if a certain band hadn't broken through the veil.
Huh. What do we do about it?
Darm and I have been talking about it and have some ideas. Give us a little bit of time to see if we can come up with a plan.
I'll leave you to it.
That tree's still ripe with inspiration, Lane?
Darm and I have been running down the mystery of our alchemically... We've got a working hypothesis, but we're going to need...
You're right on...
I have been taking...
I do, don't... As long as...
Worse, we think the source of the problem might be...
Orange.
Everything. We've never been able to perceive or harvest them, and if that pattern allows us to interact with and control magic, the theory goes that magic might be able to affect our...
You think...
Obviously, tangles are inherently dangerous, but that's the question we want to answer. Could they affect the creatures here in more subtle ways? Could too much magic explain the Spitfire's behavior?
Spirits.
You've been collecting resonance for all your time in here, as have our enchanters. That data gives us a baseline. What he needs, then, is a comparison resonance harvested during a miasma from any of the natural beasts. Arcs won't help, alas.
Right.
Good balance of protection and mobility. Not as protective, but great against the elements.
I know you're not one to shy away from a fight, but you should have known better than to go toe-to-toe with that thing.
Casmin, I'm all right.
That's not the point, Bryn. I was really scared.
I know.
You're okay. That's what matters. Sorry, I just felt myself going back to a dark place.
I understand. I'm here, though. Safe and sound like everyone else.
You're right. We're all here. Just do me a favor, and you don't like to leave anything unfinished.
For your sake, and mine, I'll rest first. Hey, how you feeling?
I'm okay. I don't feel amazing. In fact, I feel pretty fragile, to be honest. Actually, everything you did helped. They're not. And not sound. Yeah, why did you do all that for me?
I
do?
I would do everything I just did and more for you. You are Captain.
Would you mind?
Every day if you'd...
Hey,
Of course.
great.
Lead the way.
So, there's some...
What's on your mind?
Honestly, you are. And it kind of snuck up on me. I was caught up in my own world before you came along and pulled me out of it. At first, I saw you as a friend. Then, one day, something just shifted that I can't quite put into words. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I think I'm falling for you. You do? I thought maybe I'd scared you off with everything.
Kaz, I fight drakes and worms daily. Besides, you're like the kind of...
That,
You surprised me too.
hopefully, we have a long road of surprising one another ahead of us.
We do.
Hey? Not a thing. Oh, except I don't know if you've heard, but I've got a smoking hot girlfriend now.
She sounds great. I have...
Oh? That'll bite you in the arse every time. But seriously, I've wanted this. I like you so much. But with... You sure you're not going to change your mind?
Even back when you were giving me the cold shoulder, I could just tell there was more to you than meets the eye.
You should probably talk to someone about being a
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Good. I wasn't planning on letting you... You're staring. What's got you in such...
What? I can't admire my gorge...
You can't, but none of this showing up here just to look at me with love in your eyes. Especially in front of Aurea. At least come up with something clever to talk...
So, if being mushy around the caravan isn't ideal,
I'd love to.
now you have to tell me.
Stargazing. When I worked the shipping lanes, I learned a lot about navigation by the stars. Maybe it'd be fun to... I don't know.
Oh. Sure. I can find something to talk about. What made you fall head over heels for me?
Subtle. I guess I believe that the best thing you can do with your life, and that's what you embody. As a friend. Yet, somehow you do it without burning out or putting others above yourself. That's very attractive.
That's what draws me to you.
I'm trying, at least.
Tell me about yourself, then.
It rained a lot in Dunbrennig, so we didn't do this often. But on the rare sunny days, we'd both bring books and blankets to...
That sounds lovely.
It was.
Unfortunately, your adorable...
Oh God, I'll meet you in your tent later.
Looking forward.
I've been reading over those caravan logs you brought in when help...
A little...
They do help me sleep. You know, the Enclave had 3 secrets to their trade. These logs are good insight into how they leveraged that.
And you would very much like to tell me about how...
You might only be asking because you have a giant crush on me and know I want to tell you. Yes, I do want to tell someone. So, the 3 keys to their success, right? The first was no wars.
So they could trade with everyone. Even 2 nations at war with one another.
That was try to declare a trade sanction against them for trading with your foe. And suddenly, your foe has an edge you just lost.
That's a deft bit of maneuver.
Their 3rd key was having access to land and sea trade routes. Renland and Taza both relied on Enclave trade by land. Either one attempting to cut off caravans would provoke a response from the other. And the Enclave's north was unassailable by sea. That's why they built Cassidon's Hold.
Sharing trade knowledge is your happy place.
Oh yes. And do you know there's another place that's got 2 of...
Where? We don't have access to sea trade. And I wouldn't say we're at peace either, but you're thinking of our steel.
Best in the Maida. And you're the only people who know how to make it. Not only that, but while the Empire would love to put you back under their heel, they can't.
No. Because we've started trading with other nations like Renland who wouldn't want to lose access.
That's peace. So pretty much. I'm sure your leaders...
The Adelrad.
Right. Are aware of that. Probably the Empire too. Just fascinating how history repeats.
If we ever get out of here, I'll talk to my mother about this.
We'll get out. And when we do, I want to meet her.
flame strand for your mantle. It certainly is disturbing to think an enchantment can warp.
Any sign of our scry reacting like the Heartsider ones?
None, but it might be a matter of time. Who knows what a year or a decade might bring? We'll have to watch closely. Oh, that's rather exciting now I think of it.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So let's clear the air.
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to start with you. We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Help us understand what happened. Just breathe, Sev. Start from the beginning.
I'm sure Bryn and Sola told you all. But I belong to an order called the Norians. We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construction of the tapestry. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one like Stanild. And to keep their secrets.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert, and we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret political chokehold on the kingdoms. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. But I have my doubts. And so, the Order operates in the shadows. I imagine they were much the same here in the Enclave.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And he took me more into his confidence as a result.
Did you leave the Norians to become Sola's apprentice?
One never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path. And Sola was kind enough to accept me for mine.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but was hoping you'd stay on after.
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. But there is real good to be found among the Norians. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like Stanild. They're all the same. They see a point of control. Water, information, wealth. And they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil, for some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, it's stagnation. You all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry. No more secrets. I just can't do it anymore.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard in the uncertainty surrounding us.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev. You had loyalties outside the band you never disclosed.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us. Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Only you can decide when the apology feels real to you. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit and deftness as a smith. And before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, and you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
I'm sure we all have things we want to say, to Sev and each other, but that can wait. Right now, while we're all here together, we need to focus on next steps. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up fast.
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon, or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate for a friend.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend, he put together a plan.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the Underworks. All while he used the gate to... what?
There is a place, deep, deep underground, known as the Source. A feat of engineering unparalleled. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. The thing powering the Veil. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections. And I'm the one who repaired it.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things, then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the Veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space. sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wants to eventually fix things with the help of the spindle. All glory to his family.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the source. In the hopes of discovering how it worked, he had been feeding information to the spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the mad—
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove its advantage. I'll need Bryn's help with... That's all right.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the talent?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite— No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Bryn. Maybe she could pry some information out.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend.
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with—
My people have started calling it the Herald.
Of destruction?
Why not both? As I said.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this Herald. We work with the Axle to look into the spindles late, and if she feels like it, Bryn has a chat with our imprisoned Surgeborn.
As good a path forward as we are going to find.
I don't—
No, that's one for more.
Have you—
Alright,
Yeah, but— and it— that's— well, I— Bryn.
Yeah,
No.
or
Leaders.
there was no...
Hey, mind if we talk?
Lead the way.
I won't be returning to expeditions. I've known for a while now, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. My days as Point are over.
I thought you were recovering from your injury.
Not as well as I should be. That I got injured at all was a sign that I'm not as fast as I used to be. I should count myself lucky. Not many— I'm not ready for this to end. What kind of legacy is it?
But you've had an incredible career. And it isn't ending just because you can't go on expeditions.
I know, but it's not the same. And some part of me was hoping to— I thought if I found out who my father was, if he turned—
Tell me. And if you're...
That's—
I wish there was something I could do to help Aurea see herself the way I see her. Lane knows a thing or two about recording legacies.
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
First one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove. We use specially enchanted coals. And second, the stove—
What?
I don't know. I don't do stove maintenance.
He's still got bum.
Regardless, this is a damn and solar fix.
I'm not sure.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you.
Aurea's up. I appreciate
You...
you'll need to...
I...
Me?
It,
And Stanild wouldn't...
the Talon was his deepest secret.
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans, for one?
He was the Talon, but
Right.
what else do we see? Exactly.
You think the aeroliths are able to affect raw mag...
I do. And in Stanild's private records and designs.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain what, if I'm right. This...
Fewer tangles, me...
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute. And I'll go...
Bryn, I examined the wreckage at the Grand...
Found something useful?
A kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must...
Think we could weave it?
I don't see why not. Its pattern appears...
All right.
Then let's get to work. And we're finished. This will be quite...
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air quite forcefully.
Could...
I...
Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures. This is going to be...
You're right. Just... Ah.
Yes?
Anyway, stove's not working.
Yes, please, let's talk about...
How did we run out of coal anyway? I spent 2 days in Varentia working on that...
Sure. But then we ended up in the Enclave. So now we need to find more.
I don't easily have the materials to process another batch. I hate to...
Great! Temple. But what good's coal without a proper place to burn it for cooking?
If we're able to find coal like before, then it'll just be a case of reforming and... I will need a few materials.
Good. Excellent.
So I'll...
Go team.
This is the first time in a while Casmin has chosen a love story for book club.
The last romance pick was when we stopped in Sansa to barter our Frostbane leather.
Kaz kept sneaking glances at that blonde merchant who swore like a docker.
Bryn's a better match, anyhow.
Bryn,
Check on...
he...
How did Lane? Yeah, I'm not following. It could. Oh. I feel so... We know that the eye was able... Usually I would... Will come... True as that, maybe...
I don't think so. Sorry.
That's fair.
I will. I've been running more tests.
You didn't need...
No, it...
Could it just...
So?
Yeah. Your strength, thanks, Lane.
Make sure...
Lane, I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What is it?
Well, it turns out Oria's search for her father wasn't just about finding her family.
Crusades into one's lineage rarely are. Let me guess. She didn't find the missing piece of herself that she hoped she would, and now she's having an existential crisis.
Yeah. That kind of sums it up.
It happens. So, what has all this really been about?
She knows she needs to retire, and she's struggling with what her legacy has been.
Ah. Isn't it strange how the most accomplished people never seem to recognize their own success?
Yeah. I was hoping you could help with that.
We could certainly commemorate her career with a written account. I would suggest we personalize it. Would you?
Sure.
Ask no. Why don't I start by interviewing you?
Me?
Of course. We'll need your input. What has Oria meant to you?
Oria was It means the...
Great. I'll take notes when you...
You know, and there...
I know.
I'm sure it will.
We'll
Well,
so you...
it was when also last app.
Bren,
You've been...
tipches the in not when it...
I haven't... what do you want to know?
You said...
After...
You'll...
the first...
Thanks, sir.
Glad to be...
Your idea to commemorate...
What is Oria's most...
It's tough to choose. Oria had heard of a drake a few leagues north of where we made camp. Believed she left on an expedition, hoping to return with... I've gone for hours. She came barreling back into camp at nightfall, dragging its entire hide behind her. We ate and drank like royalty for a fortnight with all the riches that hide bartered on the Imperial black market. I don't know which memory is fonder. All of us gathered around the fire, sharing a bottle of aged mead, or the look on her face when she dragged that hide into the campsite.
That's perfect.
My pleasure. So, turns out I don't need it as much as I thought.
Funny how much clarity...
Yeah. Anyway, along with a few other things Oria and the band found cluttering the caravan.
Wow.
Don't mention it.
I expect...
Looking to pry...
Not exactly.
Now that, to start, I have an impressive sock collection that is years in the making with different patterns and materials from across the Maida. Storing each pair individually is a waste of space, so I categorized them into compartments as neatly as possible by nation of origin.
I have to admit, I expected something more complicated.
I'm not done. They're sub-sorted by pattern, and then sub-sub-sorted by fiber, and then sub-sub-sub-sorted by comfort.
There we have it.
Point is, this system is infallible and will be my legacy.
So, are you saying I can come borrow socks when I need them?
Absolutely not.
hand is cramped.
Great.
I'll need to ice my...
Let's hope she likes...
She will.
What's going on?
We wanted to present the latest addition to Lane's archive to you, together. We all contributed, though credit goes to Lane for compiling and writing it.
I've titled it A True and Personal Account of Oria Silverbeak Harpinet.
What is going on?
We wanted to do something special to commemorate your time as Point.
You didn't have to do all this.
We did. You've done more for each of us time and time again.
No one is more deserving of a place in Weaver history than you, Oria.
So we took it upon ourselves to write you one.
As a thank you for everything.
I don't know what to say.
Lane, why don't you read just the opening?
Oria Silverbeak, as she came to be known, was born to Sharian Harpinet and Eugenius Osphine inside the Enclave just before the Surge.
Osphine?
Though she never knew her father, her mother hoped Oria would follow in her footsteps as a skilled enchantress within the Maida. But something she would continue to do throughout her career, bigger and bolder each time. We'll let you read the rest on your own.
We hope this account will help you see yourself and your accomplishments the way we see you.
I'm at a loss. All I can say right now is thank you.
Do you mind if I borrow a quill, Dom?
Another one.
Yes, please.
That has to be enough. Done?
Yes. Any more comparison points would suffer from diminishing returns. I appreciate your dedication, Bryn.
If we ever get this place under control, will you run classes?
One thing at a time, Eric.
Sounds like a yes to me.
This place never fails to impress. Just imagine it. Would look at a scavenge from chemically treated coal at any rate.
One never quite forgets that.
Temple Cole take...
Unfortunately, it was. I don't think I read.
Until you met...
Yes.
It's been...
I'm sure.
Need an...
But
Worried.
I suppose I am.
Does she know?
It's not something I want.
She's strong.
Right.
It's significant. I'm going to go...
We could use some... It's not like her to run out of things, it's true.
I don't know. The intentions are good, but... I'm hurting.
I think you both are.
Yes. But I'm the one who's been following his dream of wandering the Maida for years. And the moment I say, hey, maybe we could do something else, he shuts down.
You're right. That doesn't seem fair.
It isn't.
He didn't have a great reaction to what you said, it's true. But at the same time, he was rather caught off guard.
Well... Perhaps it was a little abrupt?
Maybe he deserves...
You're as bad as Casman. Speaking of, we should see her and present the fruits of our labors.
I had a chance to run a test, and I would say our stove is cooking better than ever. Keeps the heat well, burns clean, a job well done.
Dom's always been very good at treating that kind of coal. Must be the Wren in him.
Hardly. No, I simply find my inspiration in...
Shh.
Oh? Tarmakind uses...
I
finished saving...
Nothing quite helps me
You'd be surprised. But I imagine Dom means the shrine underground. I saw it mentioned too.
Precisely. And perhaps we could lean on our intrepid point.
Of course.
They must have kept records. Samples, perhaps.
I really appreciate...
I'm with you, Bryn. Didn't expect the miasma to be so intense over the scry.
You get used to it. Just have to use a more gentle touch and feel the way it slides.
under what conditions it was harvested, it will be perfect for our study. Oh, hey. I heard about you and Casmin.
Yeah. We're really happy.
So, she's doing okay, overall?
Had a rough spell, but she's doing so much better.
I heard the outline of it, but didn't want to pry. I'm really glad to hear she's good and that you're happy.
Ooh,
you were really moving out there.
I was told time was of the essence.
Yeah, but you made it look easy. Maybe someday you could, give classes to the novice scouts.
I'd be delighted. But I need permission to be a total hard-ass. That work?
Wins, yes. Ooh, we'll introduce you as Coach Bryn and you can wear, like, really tight pants.
Coach Bryn. I've had people note that training in the mountain air probably helped.
I've read about that, but... well, not a lot of chances to compare in recent years. But yes, breathing for distance is a skill, as is conserving energy so you have enough left to put... Bryn, I was so moved by what you...
Thank you.
But her father, Eugenius Osphine...
You do?
Yes, and I want you to make an offering for his grave. I can give you a key swatch to reach...
Wait, you...
I do. And I'm sure...
Okay, but shouldn't we tell?
Trust me, this is something you should show her directly. Come back when you've got the offering and I'll...
What's the...
Not that. Have you?
No.
Ah, the patterns did show...
So things might recover if we could bring an end.
I think so. How?
We have to tell the Axel, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of Oria's feathers would be beautiful as part of the offering for her father's grave. An offering for Eugenius. Time to talk to Arik.
By the way,
No. I've made a...
Great. Here's the key swat. I'll join Oria at the...
Are you sure you don't want to be the one to place...
It will be more meaningful for her.
All right.
What is this place?
Osphine Pastures. Your father's farm. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself.
My father lived here.
More than lived. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears for the Enclave here. Eugenius Osphine may not have a statue in Denevron for excellence in weaving or kissing the eye's arse, but he kept the surviving weavers afloat during the aftermath of the Surge.
I had no idea.
After the Surge, he only kept enough produce to take care of himself and his workers. The rest went to weavers across the Enclave, and his generosity led to many helping him in return.
I can't believe he did so much for the Enclave.
He was a true leader, if not in the most traditional way. A community of workers formed around him, including ex-points who would transport his food across the Enclave in these caravans. Many of whom went on to form the Scouts as an organization that still exists within Cassidy's Hold today.
So that's how you know all this.
Before the Arks began malfunctioning, they were integral to farming across the Enclave. Many farmers refused to stop using them because of their efficiency, even at the risk of their farmhands being attacked. But your father scrapped his Arks as soon as he got wind of the first malfunction to keep his workers safe.
That can't have been an easy decision.
But he made it, anyway.
Everyone thought he was mad at the time, but in a few months when the attacks became widespread, his forethought was recognized.